Hey everybody. In this video I want to share my experiences that I've had with various brands of memory cards. Now I've used, back in the old days when I had an old Canon PowerShot S40, I used this 2GB Lexar compact flash card. Now my later cameras, such as the Canon PowerShot A470, the DXG567V, the DXG579V, my Kodak ZI-6 cameras, all those, I've used SD and SDHC cards. And I just want to share my experience with these various brands. Now, the brands I have used are Lexar, PNY, Transcend, SanDisk, and PQI. Anyways, with Lexar, I haven't had any problems at all with their products. I mean, this card here has never given me any trouble. Now this one here I don't even know because it's so old. Look at this, only 128 megabytes. This is definitely an oldie. Very, very small capacity, especially today when you have what 16 gigs and the SDHC type, and size is much bigger than that in the SDXC type. But anyways, in regards to Lexar, everything has been pretty good to go there, but I want to go and mention something about SD cards in general. It's good to get a higher class card, such as like a class 10. Now generally with class 10s you shouldn't have too much of any performance issues. The class 10 cards tend to have better read and write performance versus the class 4s. Now you go to Walmart and look at their stuff. Most of their SanDisk and the cheaper cards are class 4, and they're not they're not all that fast. But anyways, as I mentioned, Lexar, pretty good to go there. With SanDisk, I've had hit or miss experience with their products. I got a 16 gig card, which actually my grandpa had got me. It was only a class 4, and I had hit or miss performance with it, probably because it was a class 4. My Kodak ZI-6 did not get along with it, especially when I was doing 60 frames per second recording, which requires good bandwidth and a good card overall. Now SanDisk generally is a good brand. I mean, you can't really go wrong with them, I would believe, especially if you buy a high class card like a class 10. You should be good to go there. Now with Transcend, I can give you some good opinions on this one because I have definitely used this one pretty hard. This is normally the card I use in my camera when I'm doing Q computer channel videos or short bite geek MTX videos. I normally use the high capacity cards when I'm doing time-lapse photography or time-lapse video. As you can see, I have heavily used this card, and this card here has given me the most trouble overall. And it's not an isolated incident. My friend Timmy, he had a Transcend card that was the same brand, and his got corrupt on him. This one here has gotten corrupted on me many times. My Kodak ZI-6 doesn't really seem to like it, especially when you get this card about full, or not even that. It's about 50% capacity. Basically, what happens with my ZI-6 with this card is when I press record, the camera will try to record for like 3 seconds, and then it'll stop recording and show a little exclamation mark next to the SD icon. And sometimes if you're not paying attention, you think you're recording and you're not. Trust me, that's very frustrating when you find out you're not even recording and you just got finished talking about something. You're just talking to a wall. But that's not the only problem I've had with this thing. I mean, it's gotten corrupted numerous times to where it wouldn't even accept a file. Files would get corrupted, and I couldn't read them off the computer. And this thing got corrupted so bad one time that only the card reader in the Acer Aspire 1 netbook could actually read it. The card reader in the Meteor Lux couldn't read it. The card reader in the Black Max couldn't read it. I mean, it was just that bad corrupted. So I had to use DiskPart to rescue it. And this card got corrupted again. A couple of days ago, and I just did a video on using DiskPart to clear it. And it's questionable how long it will last until it gets corrupted again. I mean, the card works when once it's recording. Basically it's like this. With my ZI-6, after I've recorded a few times, shut the camera off, turn the camera back on, and the first time I try to record, it goes 3 seconds and fails. Once I go through that and start recording again, it works just fine. And usually when I do 60 frames per second, it works just fine for that. Now, basically, I got this card on sale on Newegg for like $2 or $3. So, you know, even though I do have problems with it, I still can't complain because I practically got it near for free. I think it was a bundle thing. Like, it was bundled in with a certain item I bought. I've had this card for probably, I want to say 2 or 3 years. And you can see it's been used quite a bit. But not as much as the card you don't see here in this video. That's a PQI, not a PNY, but a PQI. Now this card I got in 2009 when I got a camera from Aldi. It's funny, you know, Aldi is a grocery retailer that, you know, has their own private label brand of goods for a lot less than what you buy for name brand stuff at like places like Food Line and sometimes Walmart. But basically, they had their own private label brand camera, which is called a Traveler. Now, that camera was not all that great. I mean, for me, I didn't really like it as somebody who likes advanced features in a camera. It just didn't work for me. So, I gave it to my dad for Father's Day back in 2011 or 2012. So, he likes it whenever he uses it, but now he has a smartphone, so camera just sits in the drawer. The PQI card I got it for like $10. Now back in 2009, that was a decent price for a 4 gig, and it was a class, I want to say it was a class 6, not a class 10. Now that card was, I mean, it never failed me. I rarely ever had to format it because of corruption or anything like that. I mean, it just worked. I used it heavily in my DXG 567V, my 579V, used it in my Canon PowerShot A470, used it in the Traveler camera. I used that card so heavily to the point where, you can see how there's dirt and stuff on the contacts. You can see the clean spots where the contacts in the camera and the computer hit it. But that card was so heavily used that the plastic came completely apart. Now, when that happened, I used that card for like almost a year after the plastic clamshell was coming apart, but it eventually got to the point where dirt and stuff was getting in there and it was causing problems. So that card, unfortunately, it died. So had to trash it, and I started using Transcend. But anyways, I've covered the Lexar, the Transcend, SanDisk, and PQI. Now let's talk about PNY. When it comes to these cards, all of these come from Walmart, and let's see, my mom bought some of these for their deer camera, and I don't know if I bought this one or not. Probably they bought them for the deer camera. This one here I did buy for, you know, because I needed a good fast 16 gig card. This is this one here I bought first back in, I believe, 2012 or 2013, probably 2012 if I guess right. No, actually, I'm sorry, it was 2013 because I already had the Kodak ZI6. I got this one, and I got the one that's in the recording camera right now. They're both 16 gig PNY professional class 10 cards. These perform outstanding. I mean, I do my time-lapse videos with these. I mean, I'll film completely up and, you know, empty them. Never have had to format them, I don't think, any at all. As you can see, you can tell this one here has been used quite a bit too. I mean, these work fantastic. I can definitely say PNY products work very well. So anyways, this one here works great. The one that's in the camera has a slightly different label, and I think it's labeled high performance or something like that. They both work fantastic. So you can't go wrong with PNY. I mean, in this 4 gig it works fine, and so does the 2 gig. So anyways, we're getting close to 10 minutes here. I just want to share my opinions on, you know, my experiences with various brands of SD cards. Now, yeah, SD and SDHC, and I guess you can say compact flash. There are so many brands of cards out there, it's crazy. You know, I haven't had the opportunity to try every single one because, as I mentioned, there's just so many of them. So anyways, hopefully maybe you could take this information and use it when purchasing a card for your camera. So definitely you may not want to use Transcend unless you get it for like free or something. Now if you get a PNY, a PQI, or a SanDisk, or a Lexar, I think you're pretty good to go with those. So anyways, any questions or comments, feel free to ask, and thanks for watching.